Hello everybody, this is Editing Asia coming in with a disclaimer. This week we had a lot of technical difficulties with the episode, with headphones dying, audio going in and out, like video space, like storage filling up on our cameras and our phones, and it was just a hot mess, but we do still have some really good footage, and we really wanted to post this week's episode. We did not want to miss a week, so just give us some grace. I tried to do a good job of editing it so that it will be enjoyable to watch and, has the good stuff from the episode. But if there's some technical errors or we stumble over our words, just please give us a little grace. We would really appreciate it. So, yeah, so let's flash forward to today's episode all about our hobbies. Yeah, we'll just get started. Okay?
Oh.
Yes. All right, so good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you're watching this, everybody. Welcome to
Top of the morning. I have Irish breakfast too, that's why.
I was gonna ask you, that was gonna be like my first question is, what are you drinking and what kind of mug do you have?
Irish breakfast tea in my queen mug.
Yes, if you don't know, well, how could you know this about Elizabeth unless you're our friends? But she is a queen, for real.
I even have a crown tattoo.
Yes, I thought that, that's perfect. And then I just have my same coffee as last week, donut shop from Aldi in my most favorite mug. This is the mug I talked about last week. I'm like, this right here is the best mug in the entire world. It is. And I've had it for probably like 5 years, and it's made it through so many moves, and I'd probably legit cry if this thing broke, so. And when people have used it in the past, they're like, oh, I used your mug. I'm like, which one? Oh, that blue one. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, so that's our coffee and tea. Do you drink coffee also when you make tea?
I had a coffee this morning, and because I have a Keurig and I'm slightly cheap, I don't want to have to keep buying Keurig cups. So I switched to tea once it hits like 11 o'clock.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
I had a cup of coffee this morning while I got ready, because as soon as I wake up, I go to the bathroom, I come out, feed my cat, and start my coffee, and I drink it while I get ready for the day. And then I tend to switch over to tea.
Yeah. The only tea I think I have in the house is like sleepy time tea, so that would not be good for this purpose. I'd be like falling asleep.
I think I have like 7 different kinds of tea. I have decaffeinated Earl Grey, I have regular Earl Grey, I have Earl Grey with jasmine, Earl Grey with lavender. Then I have Irish breakfast, I have English breakfast, I have green tea with jasmine. Then I just have like the regular Lipton tea. And then I have like a cleansing tea, a detoxing tea, and then there's a few others. Those are just the ones I know off the top of my head.
Okay, so what that means is, and what I hear is, Earl Grey tea sponsor us. That's what I hear. I don't know about you, but I do have one question. Is it all organized in your tea box I got you?
Yes.
That makes me so happy. I was walking through the store and I saw this box. It's like a wooden box, and
Let's see.
yeah.
Yeah, ignore the dishes that I need to put away. These are like the hand wash ones, but it's the box right there next to the Keurig.
Yeah, and it has like flowers on it, and I was walking through the store and I was looking for her a Christmas present, and I was like, this is kind of obscure, but it's perfect, and if she doesn't use it for tea, she can put like jewelry or whatever, so.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Yeah, and as the holidays near and my birthday and things near, you guys will see that Elizabeth is the most superior gift giver of all time.
I love giving gifts.
She is the most superior.
It's my love language.
It is, and ooh, that makes me think we should do an episode about like love languages and like how that affects our lives. That would be fun. Or like personalities. I have I think like our zodiacs and our Enneagram, and that would be so fun. So let us know if you would like that kind of episode. But she's the best gift giver, so it stresses me out when I give her gifts because I'm like, they need to be up to par.
You give great gifts. I have a whole collection of the teacups you've given me on display.
Well, okay, that might also sound like I'm not creative, but if I just see a mug that reminds me of you, I just get it. It's simple as that.
Hey, I love the gifts when you're just like walking through a store and you're like, you know what? Asia would love this.
Yes.
I have a whole box in my apartment of just gifts for people.
Yeah.
And usually it's like, well, it's not any holiday or birthday. I'm just going to put this in a box for you.
Yeah. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see my background right here, but this right here is from Elizabeth from like maybe 4 years ago, but it describes an inside joke in our friendship that doesn't really make any sense that it's a joke, but she just gets me things that say hello a lot.
Don't worry, there's a lot of hello things in the gift box.
And if you go through our house, I have a lot more things. There's like one in the kitchen, there's a new one in the living room.
It all started with a bracelet.
It all started with a bracelet.
That I didn't even give you.
No, I bought it myself. I was like, look at this bracelet, it says hello. And then for the rest of the day, we would see each other, she would just go, hello. Which makes us sound like idiots, but anyways.
I was in such a loopy mood that day.
I feel like I'm just gonna have a loopy life, to be honest.
Probably.
I started crying. I like started tearing up, but I was laughing about that. And I put on, I know you can't tell, but I put on fake eyelashes because I was feeling fancy this morning. So hopefully they don't fall off. So if y'all see it, like, fall. Alright, and go, technical errors. Sorry, my friends. But yeah, what were we even talking about? I already forgot. Anyways, we can just go on with what we were going to talk about for the episode. Well, we'll go over what we're grateful for this week, and then we'll get started with our episode. And our theme this week is our hobbies. So just another kind of getting to know us kind of thing, and a little bit more in depth. And shout out to Elizabeth for coming up with this idea. But we'll go ahead and get started with that. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, and I also was scared that you couldn't hear me just now, so yay. Okay, you can. It's weird. Yeah, her headphones are being kind of stupid. Okay. Alright. Okay, well, I'll try and talk so you can read my lips, okay? Okay, so, yeah, what's your idea? Yes! This is live TV, folks. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so, for our thing we're grateful for this week, I am really grateful for my family. This weekend I went home to where my parents live, and I live about an hour-ish away from them right now, and I don't get to see them a ton, so I'm really grateful for my family. Just even no matter how long it's been since we've seen each other, and not just my parents, but like my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, all that stuff. We just kind of pick up where we left off, and it's always a fun time. So I'm grateful for my family. They're just the best, and I'm feeling like recharged from this weekend. To be honest, it was a rough week. Didn't you say something was going on with Mars or something like that? So I'm sure that was my problem, but I'm grateful for my family, which sounds so cliche, but it's true. Alright, so you wanna go?
Okay, so for this week, what I'm grateful for is my wonderful mom. I had a rough week just girl-wise. Like, it was not fun. Woke up Wednesday and I called her. didn't know why I called her, but also I'm just like crying because my back hurts and all this. I'm like, I'm calling out from work. I really, really don't feel good. And she just would check in on me all day. So would Asia. And it was just, and then like yesterday, I wanted to go to this one small shop in Peddler's Village out here in PA. And she's been very anxious about all the pandemic stuff going on, so going out's not a big thing for her. So I appreciate that she would go with me, and then we got there and there's a whole festival going on, and there was a lot of people.
What kind of?
So it's one where like we went and enjoyed our time, but we also didn't stay too long, but we got into a lot of like, it was very fall-y, and there were scarecrows everywhere, and it was just a lot of fun. And like I got pumpkin cobbler, we got like a fall sangria type thing. There's like apple cider donuts, there's pumpkin muffins, so it was a lot of fun. And you could see people like making scarecrows, and luckily like it's an outdoor place, so even like everyone was wearing their masks, so that was nice. And so I'm just grateful for her, because I know with her anxiety it was probably making her want, and it wasn't her number one thing she would want to do, but she went with me because I wanted to go, and we ended up going to a festival without realizing it.
Yeah, yesterday when she texted me, she said, yeah, me and Mom, we went to Peddler's Village, and there's a Scarecrow Festival. I said, a Scarecrow Festival? What? But the pictures look super cute, and hearing about all the fall treats makes me so jealous. So yeah. Alright, so with that's our grateful. So our topic for this week is our hobbies, and we each have maybe like 3 or 4 we're going to talk about, right? I think so. And we can just kind of go back and forth. Like I'll share one, you share one, that kind of thing. Sound good?
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so I can start. So we'll go through what the hobby is, kind of why we do it, why we enjoy it, and I have some examples for a couple of them. I don't have an example for all of them, but my first one is journaling / writing, drawing, all kind of into one. And I kind of, when I think about it, I've always kind of been into this. Ever since I was little, I've always been into like art and writing. I always got like really good writing grades in school, which doesn't mean anything, but anyways. But yeah, so about 3 years ago in 2017, I was kind of going in through this like transitional point in my life where I ended a really toxic relationship, and I was kind of trying to figure out life on my own, and it just felt like a really transformative time. And something that really helped me get through that was journaling. And I have my very first journal. It's like not on the top of the stack, it's on the bottom, but this is like my first journal. It says Explore. I think my mom got this for me in like college or something. And if you look, like the bindings coming up and all that stuff. So, but in here it has things from like the end of college, kind of that first year post-grad, and then towards the end of 2017. So in here it has a lot of stuff about relationship, my thoughts about finding my success. I even have a picture of us and just stuff like that. And it's really cool. My favorite thing about journaling is being able to look back on who I was at that time and what was going on. And so there's some things I've written that I go back and I'm like, oh my goodness, like this came true, or that I accomplished this goal. Like, I don't know, just things I wanted and they actually came to life, which is cool. And then I graduated to having more than one journal at a time. So I have this one that's kind of like a catch-all, to be honest. Like it has like journal entries, but then it also has, let me see if I can find my doodle that I really like. Oh, where is it? But anyways, so here's my mermaid doodle. Yeah, so I have doodles, I have entries, I have notes. So this is kind of my catch-all, and I really like it because it has a map. Because Asia. Okay. And then another one I have that is a little smaller is this one. What does it say on it? Just do more of what makes you happy. Yeah. So, and this is my prayer journal. So I will just write out my prayers that I have, my thoughts. And I really enjoy this because, like with the other journal I was saying, it is cool to go back and see what I was going through at that time, or when things actually became, you know, my prayers were answered and that kind of thing. And even in that same thing, it's kind of cool when you look at things that you wanted in the past and they didn't happen for you, and you're like, wow, I wanted that so bad at that time, but it didn't happen, but it was for the best that it didn't happen. So I think that's really cool to see. And then finally, the last one I have is like the most thin pages you will ever see, and I don't even know how, but it's kind of my like reading journal. Like if I'm reading a book, and I'll take notes on it, and I just have cool things throughout it. And this one is where I got the most artsy. I was feeling fancy. Like I really utilized washi tape, if you can see. And then I got to where I cared less about making it fancy. So there's that. So that's my journaling and writing hobby. I also wanted to have some of my favorite pens, but I didn't have time for that this morning. So yeah. So what's your first hobby you want to talk about?
Let's see. Can I flip my camera?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll just walk my camera over to. I just piled all my hobbies into one little shelf where a lot of them are held. But I'll talk about them first, and then I'll go over and show you. But unlike Asia, I'm just gonna go through them all because, well, it's just you'll see them all. So. I do crocheting, and I do that one more towards the winter, partly because during the summer, anyone who's crocheted a blanket knows once it's on your lap, it starts to get really hot. And then I also have to make sure my cat is sleeping when I do it, because I have pictures of me crocheting a blanket and her just laying there watching the yarn, and I have to try to hide the yarn as I'm moving, and then it just becomes a thing. I also embroider, where I also have to watch the thread on that one and make sure she doesn't see it, because she has leapt at me to get the thread or the yarn, depending on what I'm working on. And then I also love puzzles. You'll see on the shelf in a minute, I have quite a few. And I've gotten to the point where unless it's like 1,000 pieces and up, I don't really do them. And I love the Thomas Kinkade, especially the Thomas Kinkade Disney ones. They're my all-time favorite. And I'm the type of person who, like, I'll start one and be like, okay, I'll do it throughout the week, and 8 hours later, I'm still sitting in the same spot, almost done with the puzzle. And then I go, what? Next, for the rest of the week, I'm like, why does my back hurt? I'm like, oh, I did a puzzle in 8 hours and didn't move. Probably why. And then over there, you'll also see I just, like, have a lot of, like, games that I love to play, like card games. Like, me and my family, we just love doing those types of things. You can ask Asia, she's had to deal with them. And then I have like a section with paint, but it's not like canvas paint, it's more like I have a dining room table where I painted it myself, and me and my dad built it. We built a coffee table, and then like sometimes I'll get furniture from IKEA, like the okay, so I like to do like home projects where like I'll paint furniture or different things like that. So you'll see that over there as well. I also love to garden. Everyone jokes that I'm kind of like a crazy plant lady. Like when I moved to this apartment in July, end of June, I had at least 25 plants, I think and let's just say they were the last thing moved. And there's one where my brother's girlfriend, or fiance now, that's what her degree's in. And she looked at it, she goes, that plant shouldn't get that tall. I'm like, I didn't think so, because it's like a succulent cacti type plant, and at this point it's taller than me, and I just kind of, when it looks like it needs water, I water it. It's in a sunny spot. Don't know how it happened, but it is. You should have seen me trying to move it during moving days. Like, to get through doorways, I had to do like squats and like move it. But I'll take you on a little tour over to the shelf of hobbies, and maybe I'll show you the table that I did. Okay, so you'll see a lot of my apartment this way, but we've got the shelf. I hope you can still hear me. But we got the games, we got puzzles, embroidery, crocheting, all that type of stuff. And so, hopefully that gave you an idea. I also did a paint by numbers. And then also, I finally hung this up today, or this week. I'm starting to make an embroidery wall. I only have one thing up at the moment, but just some little things about me. And then try to avoid. We have the table I painted, and then I drew the constellations on the legs, partly because it was a brighter blue than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be a darker navy that I painted it in. Well, let's just say, once the light hits it, it's a lot brighter than I was expecting. So, I do journal some. Mine's more like a bullet point journaling, not bullet journaling, but I just kind of have like sections based off this one guy I watched on YouTube. And just like, I have one that's like a Dear Universe, or where I basically like tell the universe what I want, what I hope my life becomes. Or I did like when I turned 26, I did like how I thought my 25th year went and what I hope to improve upon for my 26th year, or do or accomplish. And like I have like a back section where I just like write random things about my day if I feel like I want to write, and one where like I write down like dreams or different things that just like kind of like signs from the universe I think I see, or just like I call it my stream of consciousness, or I just kind of like write whatever like kind of occurs in my head, especially like after like if I do like a meditation type thing. Sometimes like different insights I'll get into myself, or I'll just like write that down, and there's like no structure to it. Sometimes there's periods, sometimes there's like proper English stuff. I can't even think of the words like commas and all
Grammar.
that. Grammar. There we go. The teacher's telling me what the answer is. I got a degree in engineering for a reason. I like math. Grammar was not always my best thing. But back to you, Asia.
Okay, wow. So if you haven't made this connection, Elizabeth is way cooler than me of a person, and she has all these hobbies. Mine are very few hobbies, but hers are so cool. Like, she's my favorite. But so my one was journaling. My next one that I had, and I'll all at once, but is kind of like home stuff, kind of like she does like DIY projects. We're both pretty into like home decor and decorating our house and apartments and whatever. But I love like the planning process of it. And I brought my little, I created like a, I don't want to say a home vision board, but it's like a mood board. That's what it's called. So I created, like, I love to do stuff like this, just like put my ideas on paper, or like Pinterest. I know that doesn't sound like a hobby, but it's so relaxing to me. So that's like a relaxing thing I do, is look through Pinterest about house stuff. But I love just like planning and thinking about how I want the house to feel. And even if right now it isn't like that, like it's kind of chaotic right now, but at least I know what my goal is. So I have this, and I love collecting things. Like I have like and I love collecting like paint samples and stuff like that. Yeah, so just making our house a home is one of my hobbies, even though it's definitely a process. That's something I just really enjoy doing. And yeah, I feel like I'm a lame person who doesn't have a ton of hobbies, to be honest with you.
You're not a lame person, Asia. Some of my hobbies are puzzles, crocheting, and embroidery.
But that's cool. I do want to show y'all, Matt and I, Matt's my boyfriend, if y'all don't know, but he and I were talking one time. I was like, I feel like I don't have any hobbies like that when I was having like a stupid anxiety day. So I made a collage in my journal because that's what I do, and I literally wrote down a bunch of hobbies I could potentially have. Oh, and this reminds me of another one I was going to talk about. I forgot about it, which is actually makeup and doing my makeup. I don't do makeup every single day just because, one, I have to wear a mask at school all day, and that just seems honestly pointless to have makeup on all day if I have to wear a mask, because my face like freaks out anyway from the mask, and then just having makeup on top of that and probably be like, we hate you, all the breakouts. But I got into doing makeup when I found like beauty YouTube, probably in like high school, and then all throughout college. My obsession just grew, and I don't know, it's just so fun for me. Like, I'll do my makeup if I'm just bored sometimes. I'll just play around. There are days that we'll call each other. We're like, hey, you want to just like play with makeup and like get dressed up? And yeah, because we're bored and we don't have anything to do.
Because I'm not the best at makeup.
Well,
So I make Asia teach me how to do it.
Yeah, so she's actually getting really good. Don't let her tell herself she's bad. But anytime we do like going out, or like we would go to bar crawls for Halloween, which R.I.P. bar crawls. But anyways, I would always do our makeup for that, and it's just really fun. And I think it's kind of goes along with like the artistic side. Like, that's what I also, the process is super relaxing to me. I think that it's really cool just to be able to kind of transform yourself. So yeah, that's my final hobby. Alright guys, we're having technical errors with Elizabeth's video, so she's just going to join us for the audio outro. But we thank you for tuning in to our episode of Blondes in Progress, the Hobbycast, the hobby episode. And we will link all of our social media stuff in the description. Our Instagram is @BlondesInProgress. Go follow us there. Also, subscribe to our channel, where you'll put out new videos every Wednesday around 9 o'clock. So, yeah, we would love for you to subscribe and turn on the little bell notification so that you're notified every week when we post. And we would just appreciate it. So, I'm going to say goodbye. Elizabeth is going to say goodbye also.
Bye, you guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I'll try to have this ready next week.
Yeah, this is still a Blondes in Progress if we just live up to our namesake. That's all that this is. So, yay for figuring things out. But, alright.
Have a great week, you guys.
Have a great week. Bye.